Hello, today I'm going to be unboxing and taking a look at the Z790 AORUS Elite AX Ice, which can be picked up for just under £300 at the moment. So let's get it unboxed and take a closer look at it. So this is everything that comes in the box with our motherboard. So we've got some paperwork including our user guide. We've got a G connector, and the idea behind this, you plug all your front panel connectors into it, and then you've just got the one cable then to plug into the motherboard header. We've got an additional heat pad for our M.2 SSD. We've got the antenna for our Wi-Fi 6E and Bluetooth 5.3, and we've got two SATA cables. One has got a right angle connector and one has got a straight connector. Taking a closer look at the motherboard, working along the bottom from left to right. First of all, we've got a HD audio connector, then we've got a 3-pin 5V ARGB header, followed by a 4-pin 12V RGB header. Next to that, we've got a trusted platform module header, followed by two USB 2.0 headers. We've then got a Q flash button, which you're going to use if you need to flash your BIOS. Next to that, we've got 3 system fan headers, followed by a pump header. And then at the bottom right-hand side of the motherboard, we've got our system panel header, where you're going to plug in your front panel connectors, and we've also got a chassis intrusion speaker and power LED headers. And you can use the included G connector in the motherboard box to simplify the process of plugging these cables in. Working up the right hand side of the motherboard, first of all, we've got a reset switch, which you'll find useful if you want to turn the PC on and off on an open test bench. This button can be reprogrammed for other functions in the BIOS. We've then got 6 SATA connectors, followed by a clear CMOS button. We've then got 2 Thunderbolt add-in card headers, and just above this we've got our debug LEDs, which you'll find useful if you need to troubleshoot the motherboard. Next to this we've got our USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type-C front panel connector, which can support speeds of up to 10 gigabits per second. Just above that we've got a forward-facing USB 3.2 Gen 1 header, followed by our 24-pin power connector. Working along the top of the motherboard, we've got another 4-pin 12V RGB header, followed by a 3-pin 5V ARGB header, giving us a total of 2 of each of these on the motherboard. Next to that, we've got our CPU fan and CPU opt fan headers. At the top left of the motherboard, we've got 2 8-pin EPS power connectors to provide additional power to your CPU. The motherboard features a 16+1+2 twin digital VRM design, and you can see we've got really beefy heat sinks over the VRM. In the middle of the motherboard, we've got our LGA 1700 socket and standard mounting holes, and the motherboard is compatible with Intel's 12th, 13th and 14th generation CPUs. The motherboard has 4 RAM slots, and it will accommodate up to a maximum of 192 gigabytes of DDR5 at up to 7600 megatransfers per second overclocked. We've got 3x16 size PCIe slots, and it's great to see that the top one is reinforced. This is a Gen 5x16 slot with the PCIe lanes coming from the CPU. And it's great to see that the clip for opening the slot is elevated up from the motherboard, which should make removing your graphics card a little bit easier. The middle PCIe slot is a Gen 4 slot, while the bottom one is a Gen 3 slot. They'll both run in x4 mode, with the PCIe lanes coming from the chipset. The motherboard has 4 M.2 SSD slots. I'll go ahead and remove the heatsinks to give you a closer look at things. All the M.2 slots are Gen 4x4 slots. The PCIe lanes for the top slot come directly from the CPU, while the bottom 3 slots they come via the chipset. And the bottom slot will also accommodate a SATA M.2 drive. And it's great to see that installing your M.2 drives in the motherboard is going to be toolless with the easy Latch Plus clips. Taking a look at our rear I/O, first of all we've got 4 USB 2.0 ports. We've then got the antenna slots for our Wi-Fi 6E and Bluetooth 5.3. We've then got 2 USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type A ports, and you'll notice that one of these has BIOS written above it, and this is the port you're going to plug your USB stick into if you want to use the Q flash function on the motherboard. Beneath that we've got HDMI 2.1 and DisplayPort 1.2 ports. We've then got a USB 3.2 Gen 2x2 Type-C port, which will support speeds of up to 20 gigabits per second. Next and below that we've got 3 USB 3.2 Gen 1 Type A ports and a 2.5 gigabit Ethernet port. And at the bottom we've got our audio connectors. So I do think it's an absolutely gorgeous looking motherboard with some nice specs to go with it as well. You're not going to have to wait for too long to see this on the channel. I am planning an all white build for tomorrow, which I think this motherboard is going to be absolutely perfect for. So if you have found this video useful, please remember to give it a thumbs up. And if you're not currently subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscribe button as well. Thanks for watching.